Hey everybody, so this is a first for me. I've never really gone online before like this. So I wanted to come on here and just explain a little bit about myself. My name's Robin Pollock and I'm a psychic life coach. And the story that I have, and everybody's got a story, is that I sort of always felt that I had this psychic inclination, but I sort of just stuck it like in the back, like, where you stick your old socks in the back of a drawer. And I didn't really know what to make of it. And I spent a lot of the time that I was growing up just sort of just having this like keen awareness or getting this information, and I sort of just convinced myself that those were like my random thoughts. Those were my random daydreams, things like that. And every once in a while, I would have this like notion that there was an angel with me, that even my mom, who passed away when I was very little, was traveling along with me. And that's sort of how I dealt with that information. And then moving past that, I always had this like notion of this real strong sense of healing. Like I always wanted to be in a profession with healing, something that had to do with people. I felt a really strong connection with connecting to people and animals, really. But I didn't really want to be a vet. I didn't think that that's where my love of animals really came to. It was really more about me connecting with animals and how I love that. And wind up that I went to college to become a nurse, and then discovered that really wasn't for me. I didn't really like this whole idea of just the limitations that it brought me, that I wasn't able to use my own insight, that I really felt like everything was so... And so I decided that I was going to go for speech pathology. And I remember the day that I was sitting in the class at the beginning when I sort of fell in love with this whole profession. And there was this woman that came in to talk about what speech pathology is. And she was standing in front of the class and basically talking about being the kind of child or person that was sort of stuck in their body, that had all these things that they wanted to say, but yet didn't have the ability to say them. And I don't know, that somehow struck me. I mean, that's awful. All I could think to myself was, oh my God, I can't imagine what that must be like, to be able to have the notion of what you want to say, but not having the means to say it. And so I pursued a career in speech pathology and really believed that no voice is too small to be heard, and whatever the capacity that they had to say it. It's sort of how I felt. And I'm sorry. And so I had been doing this profession for more than 30 years and really love it. I love the interaction I have with the children. I love their ability to look at things like they're brand new and exciting. Opening a can of new Play-Doh for them is like the best thing in the whole world. Their insight and their pursuit to try and communicate at such a young age, and that need to want to communicate, and working with the families of being with children who can't communicate, and how that affects the family and how that affects their communication, and like how that affects those children socially and what that does, and helping those parents, being an advocate for those children was something that was really super important to me, and it still remains to be really important to me. But this psychic piece of me kept on calling to me, and there was a point in my life where about 4 years ago, where my dogs were getting old in age, and my stepmother was very sick and dying, and I felt this huge transition going to happen. And before this point, I was feeling like I was missing something. like I was very lonely. And even though I live in this pretty great life, I mean, I'm married to somebody who I really love. I've known him for pretty much my whole life since I was 20. And I have great kids, and I live in a really wonderful community, and I have a really great house and a great family, but I still felt a sort of emptiness inside of me, like there was a piece of me that was missing. And without going into huge details, I ended up meeting a spiritual mentor, and who basically told me that I was an empath. And I started working with her, and at the same time I started pursuing a career in health and life coaching. And it really spoke to me, the health and life coaching piece, because it was all about choice and positivity and reframing your thinking and coming from a place of reframing ideas. And I really love that idea, instead of focusing always on the negative. And I've always been a sort of cup half full kind of person, so it sort of fit to what I believed in. I always believed in giving people no judgment and things like that, so it really fit into who I was and really resonated with me. But this whole spiritual path that I was on, I really didn't know where that was going to go. And it ended up being that that spiritual path allowed me to discover a part of me that was really missing, huge chunk. And I discovered that I'm a psychic life coach. And what that means is that I can use my spiritual gifts and allow them to create greater insight into how I work with people to help them facilitate the changes that they want in their life. And so that's how I connect. I connect abundantly and aligned and intuitively. And that's really what I'm all about. And I just wanted to share that all with you. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Now if I could figure out how to turn it off.